What's up, people? I am back for another video. Today, I am reviewing Krampus. Figured just do it early and I knock it out. Um, but this is one I've never seen. I remember it coming out around 2015, and I remember seeing the trailers. I don't know. I didn't watch it at the time. And um, today, my friend Orange is doing a discussion stream about it. So I figure, why not do two things in one? Do a first watch and also review it, since we're going to be talking about it tonight. But my thoughts on Krampus, I'm very mixed. Because I'll say this. I like it. Like, I think once it gets past, it's the opening for me. That opening, sequence with the family was so fucking grating. I'm not going to lie. I almost... There was a point I almost tuned out. I was ready to call it. I was like, because and I get it. They're supposed to be a dysfunctional family, but it was so obnoxious how they did it. It was like none of them were likable. I even said it yesterday. I'm like, I wouldn't mind a Santa sleigh moment where the family just all gets killed. it was bad. Like how annoying the family were. It wasn't even like they were kind of likable or anything. No, they were straight up pieces of shit. But I think they dialed it back once we got past the scene where Max's letter got read. Which Max, the main kid, he's probably the only character that I somewhat like. I will say though, I think the family gets a bit better once we get past that opening, and it does get better. And I gotta say, the Krampus effects are great. I really liked Krampus's design. Looked very off-putting. You don't really get a lot of clean shots of them until towards the end. Love the design of the elves. The gingerbread men were kind of funny. The fucking Jack in the Box was fucking creepy. I'm not gonna fucking lie. That was actually genuinely creepy. That was nightmare fuel. So I think once we get to that stuff in the movie, it's good. I just think that opening was just a bit grating. So... But pretty much the premise, Max, he's one of the last people who kind of has faith in Christmas. He still believes in Santa and all that. But his family, in a sense, kind of makes fun of him for it. His dad's, overworks. Mom's kind of tuned out. Has a sister who doesn't care. And then his other side of his family are pretty much awful. And granted, they do have that one dude. He's in, a lot of movies. He's always in, comedies. He's usually kind of... he's in The Office. He's kind of like that character from The Office in every movie. He's all, but he was fine in this. He was one of the other ones I didn't mind. But once the Krampus stuff gets started, I really think the movie gets better. It's just that opening. I will be honest. I was uber annoyed, and I kind of get it. The opening is supposed to somewhat have a purpose, right? But I do think they went a little far with how douchey the family were, to where it was grating. I was just ready for them all to fucking die right there. So that'd be the only issue I really had. But it's not I think once it gets going and, Beth goes missing and all that, it does get going. And I love the atmosphere, especially when they go outside. It's all blizzard. It's a giant blizzard. You got these snowmen just piling up in the backyard. They really went all out, at least with the set design. So I gotta give this movie that. The set design was fucking awesome. And the ending. Where you think, Max thinks he's won and all that. Nope, because it seems he gets thrown in this pit. And then he wakes up like normal. The family's all together. Everything seems fine. But then we find out, no, they all got taken by Krampus. Because they're in this globe thing. And it shows, it does this long shot. And you see, pretty much all the families Krampus is taken. So I do like that shit. I thought that was pretty good. Like I said, I dug Krampus. Once they got to the Krampus stuff, I think that's where the movie picks up. It's just some of the characters aren't likable. So you don't, care that they die necessarily or are taken. But I still like it for the most part. That's why I'll give this film, a 6.5. Especially with the ending. I just think that opening... that's what kind of holds it back. And I just kind of wish the movie just started after that. Because that opening was, I'm not going to lie, dude. That was a painful opening for me. It was so fucking grating. But anyway. Aside from that, tomorrow, originally was going to do, X-Men Apocalypse, but I think I'll do that next Friday because Aquaman 2 I'm actually going to watch here in a bit, like, because it's already on the seas. So I'm going to probably, after this video, I'm done recording this, I'm going to put it on and I'll rip it apart tomorrow. Because it sounds, from what I'm hearing, it sounds pretty fucking shit. So anyway, I'll be honest. If it's somehow fucking good, I'll admit it. I don't think it will be, but if it somehow is, I'll admit it. But yes, I'll be doing that tomorrow. Maybe Saturday. I'll see. I did find a Screen Rant article. It's tied about the Matrix. They're trying to say like the real hero of the Matrix movies was Trinity, and said she was like underappreciated. I'm like, one, most people love Trinity in those movies, but anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna be roasting that. Maybe Saturday. I gotta see where I'm gonna be at Saturday and what's going on. But yeah, and then either Saturday or Sunday, we'll see. Kind of see how the week goes, but yeah. But let's get to Krampus. So the movie starts, we meet Max and his like dysfunctional family. Trying to get this like kind of Christmassy little montage in the beginning. We see kind of how dysfunctional his family is. The son Max gets in like a fight. I think it's like a recital for like his school or something. So we find out that the mom's family aunt. I don't remember the aunt's name, but the uncle's name was Howard. Because the son's name is Howie. And then like their two daughters coming over for Christmas dinner. And I'm not gonna lie, once they arrived, it was pretty painful to watch. That whole dinner scene. Nails on a chalkboard. I was so annoyed at the scene. I think the problem I had was just how unlikable they went with. Like, I get it. They're supposed to be dysfunctional, but there's a way to do, like, Home Alone. I know that's not a horror movie, so I get it. I get it. So it's supposed to not necessarily, that's not a, like, Home Alone's not a horror movie, but that family's just, you know what, I made the joke, like, that the McAllisters are kind of unlikable, but they're at least likable enough to watch. They're not grating. This family, at least in this scene, was nails on a chalkboard. I just wanted them all to fucking die. I was ready for Krampus to just come in there and just kill them, Santa sleigh style. Just kill them in different ways. I was just ready because how annoying it was. Annoying, like painful. So, I guess they would be his cousins, right? Yeah, Max's cousins kind of, are bullying him and read his letter, and it basically, he just wants a normal Christmas. They kind of fight, or hold back. Max goes to his room. His dad tries to talk to him. Doesn't go well. Max rips up the letter and throws it in the sky. And then immediately a blizzard starts happening. I will say, like, the movie, once it gets past, like, Max kind of, I guess, makes the wish, it does kind of go, like, from here. Because the blizzard shows up. Then Beth wants to go see her boyfriend who lives down the street. Who we only see him in one scene. There's like when she's doing a Skype call or some kind of video call with him. And she ends up going out, but then she gets attacked by Krampus, and then she tries to hide under a car because I think the delivery, it's thinking like electrician shows up, and then you see him back in his car dead, assuming Krampus killed him. And I will say the atmosphere for like when they're outside in the blizzard looks really fucking good. Like it looks isolated. So I will give them that, like, because this is just supposed to be like some normal neighborhood. They were able to turn that into like an isolated area because no one's around. Everything's all snowed in. So I'll give them credit. Like they at least put the work in it with that. And then she seemingly, I'm assuming gets killed. They don't really explain it, so I'll just say she gets killed. For all intents and purposes. Um, so she doesn't return. Howard and I think Todd's the dad, which is Adam Scott's character. They try to search. They end up getting attacked. Todd saves Howard. I don't know if it was Todd. The dad. I'll just say the dad. I don't remember his name because I don't think it's Todd. I'm thinking Todd Howard from fucking the actual person. Yeah, no, the father's Howard. I don't or the uncle. So the dad ends up saving Howard because he was getting attacked by something in the snow. They run back in. They tell him what's going on. The family kind of freaks out. I'll be honest though. The drunk aunt was fine. She was actually kind of funny. I think she was somewhat one of the few funny characters, especially when she was teaching the kids how to make peppermint schnapps. That was pretty funny. I can agree with some of the criticism that I've seen from some people. Not necessarily my criticism, I'll say that right now. But I can see it. That it doesn't know what tone it wants to be. At times it wants to be a horror, but then there are times it wants to just be a comedy. Like there's a way to do horror comedy and it blend well. Like Scream, or Evil Dead 2. Like where there's still horror, but it's still straight up. There are comedy moments in the movie where it knows how to be a mix. Where this, I feel like at times I can see it does almost like go one way in some scenes it goes way more horror, and there's some scenes where it goes more comedic. So I think they could have did a bit of better job of blending the genres a bit, but like I said, the atmosphere in general is decent. Like when that family goes to sleep and you see not the snowman, the gingerbread man living one, because Howie Jr. wakes up because he hears the noise and he just sees a gingerbread man just chilling there. And he takes a bite out of it, but then the gingerbread man wraps him in the chains and pretty much he's taken. Howard, this is what, I forgot to mention yet. The dad has a mom named Ami who she actually knows the lore because there's a scene where she goes into the story of Krampus. I think this scene should have been way earlier in the movie. I think that's the other problem I had. They waited a little too long. I think it's like 50 minutes in or something like that, where we finally get this scene where she goes into what it does. I think they should have did that scene earlier. But I do like the animation. Like when they actually do some kind of like, it looks like kind of like stop motion animation a little bit. And I gotta say, it was pretty good. Like for the little bit we see of it, we see that her parents were taken by Krampus, and we find out that Krampus pretty much takes essentially the ungrateful and people who don't have the Christmas spirit, and he takes them and you kind of wish him. So, and he leaves like it's like some kind of ornament that says his name. Initially Howard like scoffs and she's playing around. I don't believe this bitch. And then he tries to go out and look for Howie, but then you see a bunch of snowmen and things start attacking. That's when the elves start attacking, and that's when we get first appearance of the elves that work for Krampus. We see the jack-o'-lantern, or the jack-in-the-box, which I'll admit, the jack-in-the-box is fucking creepy. That was actually a genuinely creepy design. And I gotta give it to them. They, at least tried with it. Especially, I like how practical it looked. It looked real. Especially, when it would move its mouth. That was pretty creepy. And then the gingerbread man started attacking Howard. Everybody's starting to get attacked. The aunt's daughters gets taken, and they're basically thrown in a pit. Max, realizing that he was the one who made the wish, he tries to basically take his wish back and all that, but it's pretty much unsuccessful. His cousins are thrown in a pit. And then he tries to unwish his wish and all that. Initially, Krampus seemingly accepts his apology. Because he, apologizes for, all this and says he still has his Christmas spirit. But then he still gets thrown in. I know I'm just kind of jumping ahead, but it's just... Pacing-wise, this movie isn't bad. It kind of gets... once you get past the dinner scene and... all that, and once Max makes his wish, that's when things pretty much get going quick. There's not really a lull in the movie either in that sense. So